Old Roblox movies are very nostalgic to me and are a really big part of my childhood. I remember going home from school excited to watch the newest release of The Last Guess or The Bacon Hair. So anyways, today I'm gonna be ranking 7 old Roblox movies which have a runtime of... wait, let me check. 6 hours, 32 minutes, and 18 seconds. Bro, I'm not watching all of that. Guess 666. This was the first Oblivious HD movie I have ever watched, and I remember being genuinely terrified of this little guest back as a kid. Anyways, there are 2 parts for this movie. The first part starts with 3 guide jocks making fun of somebody named Justin on the blackboard, which we don't know who that is right now, and they choose to do this very late at night while it's raining. Then it transitions to them being absolutely murdered by Guess 666. I don't know about you guys, but this is This is absolutely perfect. Then it transitions again to 1 year later, to now girl jocks bullying a girl named Emily because she got no friends. But when she got to class, she magically became friends with the Bacon Hair. How, you may ask? Well, the Bacon Hair is just a friendly fellow. Emily then decides to stay in class late at night just to read a legend about Guess 666, which her teacher knows about, and drops some information and tells her,
you best be off. It's getting very dark out there.
She then proceeds to get lost in the forest with the main girl jock bullying her. But this time, she pulls out a knife and threatens Emily. What? Then Guess 666 comes out of nowhere with a last second goal line clearance and kills her. The other 2 jocks think Emily did it because they didn't see Guess 666, then proceeded to tell the whole school. Everybody was looking at her weirdly, but only one looked at her the same way after all this drama, the Bacon Hair. After class, she opens her locker to find a note about somebody who knows about Guess 666 and a meetup. She went to meet up with the person which the 3 jocks that died from 1 year ago bullied, Justin. Yo, this is actually peak, I swear. Absolute cinema. Everybody clap. This gets an A tier. The intro is good, the plot is quite good, and the ending, perfect. Now on to part 2. Part 2 starts with Guess 666 before he got all demonic and stuff, getting pushed off a building by 2 other guests because he looks different. Anyways, they continued where they left off from part 1. Justin starts talking about Guess 666 and his past experiences with him. And eventually, they had to close the restaurant they were meeting up in, so they went back to Justin's place to find this important detail about the death of Guess 666.
2 boys were seen running away from the scene but were later released without charge after police questioning.
Then got chased down by Guess 666 and escaped to meet the 2 guests that the news was talking about earlier. But before they even got to introduce themselves, some stuff was going about in the school, so they had to dust them. It just so happened the same thing that happened to Guess 666 was about to happen to this random girl. But luckily, Emily and Justin caught up, and the girl jocks that lied to everybody in school about Emily pulls up a knife. Wait. Why did the girl bring a knife to the party? Because she heard it was gonna be a cutting edge event. Anybody? Anyways, Emily and Justin get cornered at the edge of the rooftop, about to fall, while Justin almost gets stabbed, but the Bacon Hair saves Justin. I was tearing up watching this, man. Actually so good. Then he dies. After, Guess 666 pops up about to kill these 2 annoying jocks, and I was genuinely so happy these 2 were finna get killed. But the 2 guests from earlier pops up and explain that the death of Guess 666 was an accident. Guess 666 gets flashbacks, becomes happy, and everybody is safe. The guests and the girls get locked up, then the bacon drops facts.
That's what friends are for.
The end. Honestly, part 2 is actually really good. Obviously, the way Oblivious HD connected the first part and the second is perfect, and how he ended the movie is also very good. I remember 7-year-old me absolutely going insane because of this ending. For the whole movie itself, it's really good and nostalgic. I like when it gives us scenes from the past like the intro of each part, since it leaves us questioning and connecting dots throughout the rest of the movie. My one little problem is the plot. It was just a little questionable in some parts and could have been just a little better. A tier. Now on to Roblox the movie. This movie starts 21 years ago, where Dennis, the creator of the movie, is born in prison with a talking cat who is with him throughout the entire movie. Anyways, Dennis gets out of prison, asks a girl out, and gets brutally rejected. And that is 80% of the whole entire plot. He gets rejected over and over and over and over and over again, even by his mom. Not only Dennis, but the cat that can play every instrument apparently gets rejected. The prisoners get rejected, and even the cops get rejected. The other 20% is just very random skits that don't connect to each other, which Dennis Daly probably made in actual prison. I have to clarify this was a joke based on the alleged imprisonment of Dennis. The whole movie itself is a romance that never starts and a comedy that never ends. There are plenty of those random skits which I actually laughed at because it's actually funny, or because I was going mentally insane while watching. I was, by the way. This movie is definitely down in the dumps in the ranking, but it's definitely the funniest movie out of all. But the intro, bad, the plot, horrible, and the ending, I mean, what the f is this? You can't really blame the man since he's just a YouTuber having fun, so D tier. Can you just transition already? The ODER. I remember watching this 3 years ago, and it was a little scary at the same time decent, and now it's actually so bad. I hate it. I hate it. The movie starts with Z, the main character and the director, getting awfully weirded out by Jenna, the ODER. He then gets stalked everywhere for like 8 whole minutes of the 1 hour runtime. His friends, Pan and Chad, really don't care, saying that she just really likes you. It's all in your head, basically making him sound like he should be in solitary confinement. Anyways, the real story starts when Pan and Z find something out and make a plan to trap the ODER. And obviously, the plan doesn't go well, and Jenna turns into 2016 LeBron Cavaliers. Lisa. Anyways, Z somehow finds a way to get Jenna banned, and himself in the process. A week later, Z comes back with a new account, and so does a lot of Jennas. They discover this, and ODERs appear and chase them for a while. Then we don't see them again, and that's like 50% of the plot. They discover something, they get chased, with some pretty boring subplots in between. Like, I was actually gonna fall asleep watching this. Some real plot is when Pan gets kidnapped and gets a crown that can control all ODERs. And Z gets a necklace, which combined with the crown, can reverse everything. But before they can even start with that quest, they discover something, get chased, and actually get caught. What? They wake up in a room where Pan introduces them to a 24-hour game of hide and seek, where if they get caught, they become ODERs. Also, what is Z doing? Pan is right there with the crown, my brother. Can't you just jump her with Chad and put the necklace on her? Z and Chad make it past the night, but not past the 24 hours. Z doesn't know this and almost gets killed finding something to get to Pan. And out of all things, he somehow finds jetpacks? Anyways, one jetpack doesn't work, so Chad sacrifices himself, which is like the 3rd time by the way. Z hits the crown of Pan, returning her to normal, and the king jumps Z, launching out a whole ODER attack and slowly transforming Z into an ODER. But Pan hits an absolute buzzer beater, reverting everything and getting them a standing ovation. The end. Honestly, this movie was just good for its time. The only reason anybody would watch this now is only for nostalgia. As I said earlier, the movie has a 1 hour runtime, which is a lot longer than it should be. I could see this as a 30 to 40 minute movie where I wouldn't be sleeping halfway through. I do like the voice actors of the movie and the lines they have. It's pretty funny, and the end credit scene is very peak. Also, here's what my friends think of the movie.
It was ass.
It was garbage.
It's okay.
C tier. Love you, Chad. Admins versus hackers. I know this movie was released 1 year ago, but my minimum requirement is if it was released 1 year ago. Even though it says it was released 1 year ago, I remember it being released way back. Anyways, when I first watched this movie, I absolutely loved it, and I thought it was rivaling The Last Guess, mostly because of the runtime comparison, but also for the graphics and the effects. The movie now, the movie starts with a noob saying yes, then getting banned by an admin named Big Blue. This sparks some fire in the noob, and he starts exploiting, which leads him to get banned not once, but twice. Except this time, he got so close to a ban, but a hacker saved him. Eventually, Big Blue does apologize to the noob because you banned him for saying yes. Anyways, the rest of the story is the hacker group that saved the noob, Digital Chaos, wants to build a big indestructible robot to eliminate the admins and their rival hacker group, Doomsday. They collect materials for it, dealing with both admins and hackers before actually getting it, which is actually so boring and useless. They keep yapping. I keep falling asleep. But at the end, they finished building the robot. The admins planned on ambushing them, but the hackers were ready, setting off their indestructible robot to kill the admins. And to you guys watching, I want you to guess how long the robot survives for. Letter A, 3 minutes. Letter B, 6 minutes. Or letter C, 9 minutes. The answer is letter A. He gets beaten in 3 minutes. The whole movie is them building this, and he gets beaten in 3 minutes. Anyways, the hackers get banned, but the noob gets away, which leads to this absolutely goated end credit scene.
Welcome to Doomsday. I dreamt.
I don't know what's up with these old Roblox movies and their end credit scenes. They're actually so good. The end. I'm being honest here. This movie is actually so boring. Half the movie is them yapping, and yapping. The yapping doesn't even matter, and it's just one of the 100 subplots they have in this to make it as long as The Last Guess. The camera never stays still in the whole 1 hour and 30-minute runtime, which actually made me dizzy watching this. The only thing I like in this movie are the graphics and VFX. It's definitely 10 times better than every other movie being ranked in this video. I also like the names. Very creative. We have Big Blue, Pensive Yellow, Tyrannosaurus Green, and Crimson Red. To summarize, this was me the whole time. B tier. Okay, wait. Before we start with one of the best Roblox movies, if not the best Roblox movie, please subscribe. It took a lot of time to make this video and to watch many movies. And it was a pain watching Roblox the movie and admins versus hackers. Trust me. So for my efforts, please subscribe. But only if you are enjoying the video. Please. Okay, going on to The Last Guess. This movie has a Blox Award, has nearly 100 million views, and the most iconic Roblox movie. So my expectations are obviously really high. I already watched it as a kid and I loved it. I wanted a guest plushie and I even made myself an avatar for it. You can tell I really love this iconic movie. This movie is absolute cinema. Anyways, the movie starts with a glimpse of the last guess in war, losing one of his fellow men, where it then turns into a flashback of the childhood of the last guess. The last guess moves into a new school. While in a playground, enjoying his life, his parents got shot down in front of him. Because of who? A bacon hair. Since he no longer has parents, he is now in an orphanage where he meets Daisy and Matt, who looks a bit like Oblivious HD. The three of them start spending a lot of time together. While Guess and Daisy were doing that, Matt suddenly comes in demanding they need to hide, as the bacon hair who killed Guess' parents is after him. Fortunately, the police came before anything serious could happen. By the way, the police are completely powerless against the bacon people. Anyways, 10 years later, Daisy and Guess get married and have a kid. In the news, it states that there's only one more Guess alive. And obviously, as a Guess, he is terrified. Him and Matt decide to join the army. They start training for the war against the bacon hairs. Once the war starts, they all get absolutely demolished by the bacon hairs. The Roblox army starts to retreat, while the last Guess, who is an absolute egoist, decides to kill all the bacon hairs on his own, the general who killed his parents, and himself too. Just watch the clip. Pleasure it is to meet you, the last Guess. Any last words before I blow your brains out? Yeah, go to heck. Explosion. With the last Guess dead, he gets a statue of himself and two people say a speech about him. That being Builderman and Matt, the one who got shot in the start of the movie, the one that has been with Guess since his childhood, the one who survived. I actually thought he was dead, you know. Matt then gives the daughter of the last Guess a letter. Just remember this, it's kinda important. By the way, he wrote this in the middle of war. Now we get a flashback from 11 years ago, where the general trains his son Jez to be the best. Then Jez comes home looking at his mom dead. He suddenly wakes up in class, and we are introduced to Zara, Jez's best friend. It is revealed that the bacon camp teaches every single bacon that every Guess is evil, and the bacons are trained to fight. Obviously, Jez is the best out of all of them, and because of that, his dad invites him to watch the Guess games the next day. Jez finds out Zara is helping the Guess by feeding him. By the way, the guests got imprisoned, like a lot of them, and a lot of them are dying. Jez is distraught and decides to snitch, but he goes to the colonel's office and sees the same knife that killed his mom in his drawer. On full display, by the way. You might as well put it in a museum. Anyways, never mind the snitching, he's out. The next day, the guest games are presented, where bacon hairs can watch guests be killed for their own entertainment. But apparently, their reason is to show who's the superior race. The rules are the following: kill each other or you both die. This reminds me of something. After the guest games, Jez and Zara help the imprisoned guests and befriend guest 555 or Rose. Just like Daisy, Matt, and Guess, these three also spend a lot of time together. Jez and Zara plan to free the guests, then get caught by the colonel, which leads to Zara's death and the imprisonment of Jez. Jez gets freed the next day and joins his dad in war. As Jez ambushes and points a gun to the colonel's head, he reveals that he didn't kill his mom.
It was your father.
While in shock, he gets knocked out. The camera then moves to the general, looking at the last guest. My mind was blown watching it. Jez gets up, and before the grenade blows up, he saves the last guest. Absolute cinema. After retreating, the sergeant returns to recover Matt's body, but he gets killed. Luckily, whatever this girl's name is, got the body and escaped this like level 100 looking bacon hair. While that's happening, Jez takes the last guest to the doctor, and the colonel is now the leader of the bacon hairs. After the colonel kills a guard at the fact of the last guest having a chance of survival, which is crazy, the last guest wakes up and immediately thinks the two bacons who saved him are his enemy, which is reasonable, saying his parents died from these bacons and everything else that happened before any of them died to the last guest. They explained it, and now they are best buddies. Hooray! Everybody clap! While they were discussing, the colonel decides to give the doctor a visit to get information on where the two are. Obviously, the doctor doesn't give any information, so the colonel just says this: "If I find out 𝙎𝙋𝙍𝙍𝙍𝙄, I will personally make sure your body is buried right next to your daughter's grave." Okay, this is a Roblox movie. I don't understand why there is unpaid working, Squid Games, and like the most brutal deaths. Once the colonel leaves, it is revealed that there is a secret hiding spot right here where Guess and Jez are hiding in. On full display, by the way. If I was the colonel, I would see that immediately. They get out of their safe spot to talk to Rose and beat up some guards on the way. One of those guards being Flamingo. Rose gives us her backstory, which was actually a bit emotional, but you guys know I'm 6'4" with dreads, so obviously I didn't get that emotional. Then her dad dies and the colonel takes her. By the way, her dad has a shotgun and they have pistols, so I don't really understand why he died. After the flashback, Rose explains the layout of the guest games, and Guess and Jez make a plan. Step 1 of their plan: to take down the guards in the passageway. Step 2: kill the 3 guards in the waiting area. Step 3: rescue the guests. The next day, they execute the plan, and the cinematography and action in this 1 minute is perfect. Guess dodges a bullet and they execute their plan successfully. Except nobody is in the waiting room, just them and the colonel, who reveals Rose was just a setup from the start. Then Guess and Jez are both forced to fight each other, or else the family of the last guest would die to an elite guard. Okay, oh my gosh, this scene is crazy. It's connecting every single puzzle piece together. We cut to Matt, where his leg is fully recovered by his doctor. Dennis Daly? I hate you. I remember what I had to watch. I hate you! As the elite guard is about to kill Daisy, Matt saves her, and then gets saved by Molly, the girl that saved Matt earlier. The new sergeant invites Matt to join the war. We cut back to the guest games, where Rose explains that the colonel threatened her mom, so she had to lie to their face. Guess and Jez forgive her. Suddenly, the GOAT doctor appears and solos 3 guards on his own and releases the 3 and keeps them in a safe room for the rest of the day. The next day, sirens play, meaning the prison has way less guards because the bacons must fight in the war. They take advantage of this and team up with the imprisoned guests to help in the war. The war begins. Everybody's throwing hands, except this guy, I guess. The last guest dodged another bullet. Anyways, as the colonel is about to shoot the last guest, Rose takes a bullet. The colonel runs out of bullets and runs. Jez chases him, almost dies, but Guess saves him, and Jez does the final kill. Now with the war over, Rose recovers from the bullet she took, Guess returns to his family, and everybody is friends. The end. I love this movie. I love how this movie is like connecting puzzle pieces together, bringing scenes back and adding more depth into it. It's absolute cinema. The voice acting and the music is top tier. The music always felt so good and it fits so well with the scenes. Cinematography, action, sounds, writing, all perfect. Here's what my two friends have to say.
Very fun movie. Some stuff didn't make sense, including the random backflips. Definitely number one, but it's not the best, obviously.
I thought the production quality was really commendable. The animation, you can tell like the person, like camera angles, when I see the person, you can tell like the person. I only got here like when you guys reached like the 1 hour mark.
S tier. Blox Watch. I'm a big fan of myths. Big fan. One of the myths I liked as a kid, Blox Watch. Basically, a myth about eyes in the Roblox night skies watching you. And based on what I'm reading, could IP ban you? No wonder I was so scared as a kid. All I did was play Roblox. If I got caught by Blox Watch, I would have to go outside! The movie starts with Robbie, who fell asleep in a classroom. When he goes outside the classroom, lights start to flicker and we get our first sight of Blox Watch. Anyways, we get a flashback from 10 years ago. The daughter of Daisy and the last guest, Charlotte, gets a crystal from her dad after the last guest, saved the world. Back to the present, Charlotte is now a high schooler and missing posters are found around the campus. She then meets Leo, Pan, and Z. Pan warns Charlotte that people are disappearing near forests. Like a minute after that, some girls invite Charlotte to join a party in the forest at night. You could have at least went at daytime. Anyways, the same thing happened to Robbie in the intro happens to Charlotte. I was low-key nervous watching this, bro. She wakes up and this shady guy saw what happened and ever since, he has been looking at her. Mad funny. We cut to the canteen where Charlotte accepts the invite to the forest party. Even if she heard Pan say, people have been disappearing around the forest, and even heard the warning from the shady guy, Zach. Zach reveals to Charlotte he saw the same thing she did, then leaves. Obviously, Charlotte wants to know more, so she chases him and gets more information. I'll sum it up for you guys. Basically, she was in a world called Limbo, where evil creatures are trying to escape, and Charlotte can only see this world because she is an astral. Anyways, we get a 6-second scene of Guess 666. That means Guess 666, the ODER, and the last guest are all connected to this. We cut to a scene of two bacons cycling in a forest. One of the bacon disappears into limbo, then dies to this hideous creature. I know this scene isn't really important, but this scene was so good, I swear. Anyways, Charlotte talks to Leo and he explains astrals and the myth of Blox Watch. In the actual forest party, Charlotte and Leo see Robbie and try to look for him. While trying to find him, these guys try to beat up Charlotte and Leo, but Zach saves them, and Charlotte reveals her power, which is such a good reveal. Then Robbie, who is actually Blox Watch, pushes everybody away and says,
Hello, Charlie.
Wait. The end? You're telling me it's just a cliffhanger and there isn't even a part 2? Okay, the player says. Breathe in, breathe out. Do the review. I love this movie. The intro, even if it's short, briefly explains this movie and also makes a very scary yet perfect impression of what to expect. The storytelling, voice acting, and music are perfect, making scenes like these two give me chills to this day. It has tons of characters from other movies that make me really happy to see. My one single problem is the cliffhanger, but other than that, A tier. The Bacon Hair. The Bacon Hair is another movie from Oblivious HD with 3 chapters and a missing 4th chapter. Anyways, just like the last guest, my expectations are super high. This movie was released 2 years after the last guest, so obviously I'm expecting this to be absolute cinema. The movie starts in Bacon City, where a bunch of homeless bacons are just living on the street. Then we get our first sight of a robot guest that's called a curfew bot. Every curfew bot's purpose is to tell people outside their homes after curfew to depart the streets immediately. Right now, where is this guy supposed to go? A house? I don't think so. Anyways, if the person the curfew bot is talking to does not comply, they get electrocuted and dragged away. And that's the intro. It then cuts to a Bacon news reporter revealing a terrorist group named the Resistance. Anyways, now we get to meet Zayden and his father. After they eat dinner, Zayden goes to wash his hands and he then sees a door opening. He goes to peek at it for a few seconds and sees one of the curfew bots from the intro. His dad slams the door shut and tells him to go to sleep. Zayden listens to him and goes to sleep. Then it turns into a flashback where his mom gets shot by the Resistance. Zayden wakes up from the flashback, then cuts to him at school with his friend, Kenzie. Zayden explains the layout of the Bacon City where he says outside the wall is danger. And Creecraft also explains how curfew bots are supposed to protect Bacons. Okay. Speaking of the dangers outside the wall, Zayden and Kenzie decide to go over the wall and it actually looks beautiful. They start playing hide and seek, and while Zayden is hiding, he meets Primrose, a guess. Before curfew, Zayden and Kenzie go back home and Kenzie asks her dad about guess, and her dad crashes out. Back to Zayden, he wakes up and it's his birthday. His dad gets him a plushie of his mom, which is really sweet, but something even better, pizza. While the two were enjoying their pizza, they start to hear a curfew bot's footsteps. Even if it isn't curfew yet, Zayden's dad tells him to go behind the counter. Then he gets electrocuted by the curfew bot. Zayden has no choice but to stay on the streets, holding his last gift from his father. This old homeless man gives Zayden a warning about curfew bots, and once they arrive, Zayden runs. In one shot only, Oblivious HD perfectly captures Zayden's fear seeing so many Bacons electrocuted, being dragged, and the fear of being the next one in line. In the end, he does become one. Psych! A curfew bot with blue eyes saves Zayden when he passes out. He wakes up in a forest and names the curfew bot that saved him Guesty, and also scribbles a smile on his face. Primrose spawns out of nowhere and meets Guesty. The three become friends and spend a lot of time together until Guesty detects a humanoid, that being the president. The president asks where Primrose is, and Guesty doesn't tell him anything, so the president's agents start fighting him. Guesty gets knocked out and Primrose surrenders to save him. Zayden also gets caught, but Guesty wakes up, saves him, and runs away while Primrose is left to stay with Mr. President. Once Guesty arrives at Bacon City, he runs out of energy, and the Resistance corners Zayden. The end. Oh my gosh. Okay, so far, the animation, the music, the voice acting, the story, basically just a whole video. Chapter 1, S tier. Chapter 2 starts where Chapter 1 ended. The Resistance cornering Zayden. They planned on killing Guesty until their leader stepped in, Mr. K, Kenzie's father. He explains that Zayden's dad was once the leader of the Resistance and was so obsessed with rewiring the curfew bots. Anyways, Mr. K brings Zayden and Guesty to the Resistance base, and Zayden reunites with Kenzie. Mr. K explains the true purpose of the curfew bots is to kill Bacons. I'm sure you guys probably knew that though, right? Anyways, we cut back to the flashback from Chapter 1, which reveals it wasn't the Resistance who killed Zayden's mom, it was a curfew bot, and the Resistance was shooting at the curfew bot, which is absolute cinema. Anyways, that's why Zayden's father left the Resistance. Then Zayden decides to join the Resistance. Now, the training part. Reminds me of that One Bacon Training 2. The Resistance has tournaments for new recruits, and Zayden, on his very first match, gets destroyed! This motivates him to train every day for the next Bacons he has to face. Oh yeah, look at these Guesty scenes. Anyways, he wins the tournament, and Zayden, Kenzie, and Guesty get to start their first shift, in which they set a new record. But then, one of the groups get kidnapped by the agents, and they get interviewed by an unknown woman. But come on, Oblivious HD, I know damn well that's Primrose. Anyways, Primrose demands this guy to tell her where the Resistance base is, and he snitches? You know what? I would snitch too. While Mr. K is explaining the agents and curfew bots are from a place called Guess Republic, they get jumped because this guy's stupid ass snitched. Mr. K instructs Zayden, Kenzie, and Guesty to get out, and if he dies, Zayden will lead the Resistance. Now, Mr. K goes out and all the Bacons and agents start fighting it out while more and more agents come to attack. until every bacon gets knocked out except Mr. K. Zayden and Kenzie come to help Mr. K. Primrose orders all of them to stand down, and Mr. K says hell no. So they start fighting again, and obviously they all get knocked out. Then we cut to Mr. President revealing Primrose was his daughter all along. He asks for the leader of the resistance, and Mr. K stands up, then gets shot. The end. You can tell Oblivious HD really did spend a lot of time making every second of each chapter amazing. The voice acting is so good. The cameos in this chapter are really funny. The music makes me float. The plot twists are fire, bro. This chapter is absolute cinema, no glazing. Chapter 2, S tier. Chapter 3 starts with Guesty killing an agent and setting Zayden free. He starts running and Primrose starts chasing him. When he meets a dead end, Primrose points a gun at him and tells him to remove his mask. Once he does, she realizes it's Zayden. They start arguing on the paths they've taken. Zayden starts walking up to Primrose, even if she has a gun pointed straight at his skull. Like, damn, you will never catch me that down bad, bro. But they end up hugging. While hugging, it transitions to a flashback of Primrose, where she has a drawing of her, Guesty, and Zayden. Then she gets picked on by this guy, and he gets beat. And Mr. President, you weird as hell. Anyways, Primrose and Zayden are now buddies again. Then we hear a gunshot. Primrose gets shot by the guy that picked on her in the flashback, who still has that black eye somehow. Eventually, she does wake up from her 4-week coma and hears on the TV that Mr. President will open the gates that have been keeping Bacon City from the outside. Luckily, Primrose has common sense and knows her dad wouldn't do something like this. So Zayden and Primrose make a plan. The plan is that they will all go to the Guest Republic. Guesty goes to the prison complex to free the resistance, while Zayden and Primrose break into the president's office to stop his plans. Since the agents are probably with Mr. President to open the gates, they probably aren't here, right? When Zayden and Primrose try breaking into the president's office, they get jumped by multiple agents, and they both get knocked out. By the way, S tier fight scene, you should watch it. When they wake up, the guy from the flashback is about to shoot Zayden, but he gets shot instead. And Mr. President arrives and brings them to his office, where they see Guesty dismantled. Mr. President reveals every dead body electrocuted, every dead body dragged, all become curfew bots. He turns on the TV. All the Bacons are walking to the gates. What lies behind the gate? Hundreds of curfew bots come out and start killing Bacons. The end. This is way better than the last guess. I'm not even glazing. You can tell Oblivious HD really improved from the last guess. There was more time put into it, more effort put into it, and more love put into it. It has the best soundtrack any Roblox movie can have. It's enough to make a grown man cry. Absolute cinema. Anyways, the voice acting S tier, the animation S tier, the set S tier, the story S tier, the bacon hair S tier. Okay, here's the final tier list. If you have your own rankings, comment it down. I actually want to see you guys rank these movies. So comment now. Also, please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I've been working on this for 6 months. Just look at the timeline, bro. Thank you to Roach and Carl J for being a member for 10 and 8 months. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you to all these people on screen. I love you. By the way, if this video gets 5k likes, I'll make another Roblox movie ranking. And if it gets 25k likes, I'll make my own movie. I know it's been 11 months, but it is what it is.